Moving on, our final topic. The Central Bank of Nigeria may be under pressure to extend the deadline for the old notes to cease being legal tender as bankers and customers push for the extension. The old notes are expected to be out of circulation by January 31st, yet there's a scarcity of new notes as banks keep dispensing old notes to their customers. Pressure is mounting on the Apex Bank to extend the deadline in order to allow the new notes to circulate well and ensure a mop-up of old notes. According to some reports, some managing directors of banks and their management teams also support calls for an extension of the deadline, but are reluctant to make the call as the decision on the redesignation of the naira had their approval.
You know, we had this discussion on Sunday.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed.
The way to go.
If you see the new note now, if you get the new note now, you are lucky.
Yeah, I saw the
everything
new note.
in circulation.
Both of us saw the new note for the first time.
Yes.
When Adekunle Yusuf brought it out.
Yes, last week.
I had before that time, I had not seen the new notes before. But I don't work within the banking sector. I also said that there was a banker who said he had never seen the new note until he went to a party. I mean, somebody who works within the bank says, I have never seen the new, I've not cited the new note, but I saw it at a party. The truth of the matter is you can't, it's not possible. It's not sustainable. BKO told us last week, it was in Yola, and he said a bank, the branch of a popular, of a tier 1 bank, there was just one in the entire capital
Yola.
city. You understand? So, how do you...
That kind of pressure.
How do you want, what do you want, what will be the fate of, for example, that
to
trader?
Distribute the new notes to its customers.
Exactly.
And you have one branch.
So the way to go is to just extend it. There's no way to go about it. If you, except to do the magic and make it available, you know, flood the country with the ATMs with the new note. If you don't do that, if you cannot do that, if you don't make it abundantly available, then the way to go is to extend the date. There's no other, there are no two ways about it. Even bankers are saying it should be extended. If the MDs are doing it surreptitiously, it is because they also know that it is not feasible. I mean, that January 31 date is not feasible. Whether they do it clandestinely or they are calling for the extension overtly, it's not my business. What is important is that we should have the new notes. Otherwise, some people will be in trouble.
Emeka, today is 15th, and we're looking at 31st deadline.
16 days.
16 more days to go. Do you see all this, you know, the old notes getting out of circulation and the new notes circulating in 16 days?
No, of course, not possible now, because many of the notes were even printed in 2018. And you look at them, they're more durable than the new notes. That's on one side. The other side is that Nigerians would have voluntarily even started returning those old notes. But the fact of the matter is that the alternative channels are not trustworthy. They are not reliable. You hear a lot of people, one lady the other day was talking about a bank, you know, that deducted her 4 million. Look at people complaining about what the banks are doing, failed transactions and all that. If the CBN had put in so much effort into ensuring that those payment channels work seamlessly, I believe, you see, it will even be easier to mop up the notes. And the idea behind the January 31 deadline, as has been widely said, is because of the elections, to make sure that politicians do not use the old notes, do not spread the old notes all around. If it is that, then clean up the other channels, clean up the other payment channels so that people can easily adapt to get the new notes. I was at the bank the other day, and I asked one of the officials, why don't you people have the new? It's finished though. The one we had is finished. If the branch of a bank in a commercial area can be saying it's finished,
Lagos.
What about in rural areas, in remote areas? So the fact of the matter is that I think the idea is a good one. Well, it's the prerogative of the government to decide to redesign the currency as many times as it wants. But if you're tying it to the cashless economy, make sure You clean up everywhere. And then the other thing I want to say is that how come you have vendors of this money, people selling this money? There's a market where the traders came out to say, why should there be people selling this money? I'm talking about Onitsha. Some traders in Onitsha were saying, how come people have this money and they are selling it? And we go to the
They're
banks,
selling it.
they are selling the money, yes. And we cannot get these new notes. Why? Yeah, the central bank will say, anybody caught engaging in selling notes will be jailed and all that. Who has been jailed? So let them stop this joke, please.
Jide, what do you make of this ultimatum?
No, it's an ultimatum that cannot be met. I still don't understand the indecent haste in saying that by January 31st,
Guys, 16 days time.
the old notes will no longer be legal tender. I don't understand the haste. And Nigeria is not the first country where new notes will be printed or minted. In the UK, when they did something like this, they provided 2 years deadline. 2 years. And that is a country where the infrastructure is much better than ours. They are much better than us in many ways. They gave their people 2 years deadline to show you the deep disrespect that the CBN has for the Nigerian people. Who said January 31. What do you expect people to do between now and January 31? Borno State, where I am now, has 27 local governments. It is only in 4 local governments that you can see banks.
Just we have what?
Banks.
And those 4 that we are talking about, 2 of them are in the state capital. The whole of Borno North, including Monguno, where the National Security Advisor comes from, there is no bank. Borno Central, the whole of Borno Central, there is no bank. It's in the metropolis, Borno Metropolitan and Jere, still part of Jere is like part of the metropolitan. Those are 2 places where you see banks. Then in Borno South, Biu, the local government of the former chief of army staff, Biu local government, they have bank. There is another local government in Borno South called Koyakusa, they have bank. Just 4 in the whole of Borno State. And these are people who do business. Borno has always been a center of business. Kanem Borno area.
Even the
where are they all going to deposit their old notes within the time frame, within the time ceiling that the CBN governor came up with? They clearly underrated the logistical challenge that this will impose on our people. As I was talking about Yola and Jimeta, just one branch of the biggest bank in our country today. The biggest bank in our country today is Access Bank. By number of ATMs, by number of branches. The only edge that you could say Zenith Bank has over it is in the quantum of profit. But using other parameters, Access Bank is the biggest bank in Nigeria after the acquisition of Diamond Bank. They have more branches than anybody. They have more ATM galleries than everybody. And they have subscriber base more than anybody. But it has only one branch in Yola and Jimeta. If you enter the branch and seek out, you will run back immediately. But that's the thing. You go to the banks in that's the same way it is. The banks are overstretched. especially in states where there is a lot of insecurity. A lot of the branches have been closed down. When they say that, okay, they are putting new notes in ATMs, it's only the person who has a bank account that can use the ATM. And a lot of our people don't have bank accounts.
Even at that, Jide,
You can't force
that's the lie.
everybody.
At that, go to any ATM now.
Yes.
Dispensing the old notes.
If you don't have a
The old
bank
notes.
account, how can you use the ATM? And you are saying they should not give people money across the counter. They should not give them new notes. How do you circulate it? A good number of our people don't even use the ATMs at all because they don't have bank accounts, and it's not their fault. Now, if you must travel, since you don't have branches or banks in the whole of Borno North and Borno Central, do you know how many kilometers that people will travel just to get to the nearest point where they can exchange their money? These people are not thinking about the pains that this thing will inflict on people. We are not saying that it is wrong to come up with new notes. We are not saying that cashless policy is wrong. But you must give sufficient time ceiling.
Exactly.
Yes. The timing.
You must pity the Nigerian people. You cannot just simply wake up and say, oh, within 1 month, they should go and do. How are they going to do it? Many farmers and unlucky people have been deliberately buying things, using their old currencies to buy produce and all that, dumping all the money on these farmers. How do these farmers get to exchange these notes for new notes? Now, even those who have taken money to the banks, do you know what is happening? You take your old notes to the bank. By the time you go back to the bank, you want to take some money. It is still old notes that will be dispensed to you. So you are taking old notes from people and recirculating the same old notes back to, I mean, it's crazy. So what are we going to? We don't want to admit that there are problems. If we fail to admit that there's a problem, how do you then solve it? How do you take new notes, old notes from people and then give them old notes by the time they return to bank? Some of the ATMs that we are talking about, you can see in an ATM gallery, maybe there are 6 ATMs. 3 will be dispensing old notes. 3 will be dispensing new notes. How do we cope with that? And we want people to believe that we made it. How do we make the deadline?
I don't think the 31st
Nasima
is
is a
visible.
big stakeholder. Nasima said no. Extend this thing. No B5. That is the Association of Finance and Insurance Workers. They have said extend this thing. The Senate has proposed June 30. Extend this thing. That's what everybody is saying. The CBN can't sit down there and imagine that they are wiser than everybody. We all belong to this country and we can feel the pain. We can see the problems.
Okay.
Honestly, I personally, talking about extension, I would personally recommend 6 months. Honestly.
To
At
settle
least
down.
yes. And then they now face it, they face the old currency.
CKN said it the other day, here, that, due to the death of the Queen, the note, the pound is going to be changed to, King of England. But the process is going to take 4 years.
Exactly.
4 years transition.
Face it out gradually.
You can't just say you want to.
So let the current notes or the old notes disappear gradually. And suddenly we will not see them anymore.
More period of circulation in
That's
installments.
the way it should be. But this fire brigade approach is not going to work. You are just going to cause wala for people.
You just want to punish
folks.
people.
Yes.
We can't, the person that is meant to be driving the process is nowhere to be found.
That is the question. He's not in the country. So, who will?
And then
who
there's a meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee on Wednesday. I don't know. Yes, I think Wednesday.
But are they going to talk about the problem? Well, I hope they find time to talk about it. But basically, our leaders should always bear in mind that policies are not meant to punish the people. They should enunciate policies that make things better and easier for the people. This whole thing is just like punishing Nigerians for nothing. You don't put people through all of the pains and everything. And then, remember, I keep talking about what happened in 1984. At least I was old enough to know about the design. And look at what happened. Somebody, a man, a civil servant, committed suicide because he couldn't get his money. He couldn't get his money changed. So, do we want that to repeat? God forbid
no, to
that
repeat.
people will resort to killing themselves because they have, you know, the old notes, and they
Something
can't
becomes
and they can't
worthless.
and they can't change them. They become worthless. What do you want people to do?
Okay, one of our correspondents, one of our own, that Ismail Omikbidon reacted to earlier topic. I was a correspondent at the National Assembly at that time. I can confirm that Obasanjo wanted a third time. It only failed. Mantu told us in confidence that Ibrahim Mantu,
Former Deputy
Deputy Senate President, and several other senators. I was there when Senator Itagiwa, the then special advisor to Obasanjo on National Assembly matters, broke down in tears, saying, "I beg these people, senators," but they refused to listen. That's Ismail Omikbidon, one of our own, and the former Chief Press Secretary to the Osun State, former governor of Osun State, and the political editor of Sunday Super at a point in time. You see? So, Julie said it.
There's too much of evidence.
you know,
No, that's what I'm saying.
You see, Obasanjo
Do
can
they
fool
want?
anybody.
Does he want people to reveal how much was shared to each person?
If you
Which
remember-
bank? The name of the bank,
He
the
can't
name of the
fool- he can't
defunct
fool
bank,
anyone.
and the
That's the
branch.
thing
And you know, you mentioned
the
the
branch.
activities of corporate Nigerians then, led by Ndidi Okereke
Okay,
Oyekwe.
okay.
That time,
There are so
we
many
know
things. It's
the
better.
movement and everything that time.
You should stop talking about
Let's
it.
sleeping dogs.
Yes, just talking about it. You should just stop talking about it. You should keep
Let's
quiet.
face our existential issues of rice and beans, and it should not disturb us with that odious stuff.
Jude Ismail just reacted to the third time thing as you said it, that you cannot deny.
No, he's entitled to his opinion, but he's not entitled to his own facts. Facts are facts. There is no such thing as your own fact. Because there is something called your opinion. Obasanjo is entitled to his opinion, but he's not entitled to his own facts. So more and more people will come out to expose him for the blatant lie that he told. It's a terrible thing, but people have stories to tell about this. People have stories to tell.
I remember the likes of Senator Adolphus Wabara at that time.
Wabara
They were
said-
standing up
Yes,
one by
he
one.
was sitting at the
that,
back.
Oh, my people are saying no to third time.
no.
They were standing up one by one, and we saw their faces. Wow, you can't. Very, very
Same
eventful
one
moment.
that
Yes,
Obasanjo engineered.
yes, it's removal before
And
that
you
time.
were expecting such a person
Yes.
to have supported the
I'm sure many people are laughing at Obasanjo now. Many people are just laughing at
It should.
What's wrong with this Baba?
That
What's this Baba saying?
Yes.
He should forget about
Okay.
it.
And Baba said he's not going to go on campaign trail with Peter
it's
Obi.
fine, it's his
That he has
decision.
done
His
his
decision.
endorsement.
Well,
He
yes.
has written
If
a letter.
that is all he said, probably we'll not be having this conversation. If that is all he said, we discussed it last Sunday. If that's all he said, I've endorsed Obi, but I will not be on his campaign because I'm non-partisan. It's okay. Like BKO said, your opinion, your decision, but you can't change historical facts. You can't change it. You can't rewrite history. What is done is cannot be undone.
Or else people will start looking into things like the presidential library, the blind trust, the 200 million shares blind trust, and other things.
I've sat down with the former Minister of Works severally, Adeshe Ogulewe, and he has told me about this third time thing, what panned out, everything. It was so glaring. That's so I just thought denying. All right, I think we have to leave it there. BKO, we want you back in Lagos.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll be back in a few days.
We're counting down to the election.
so that
I think it's
I can-
41 days to the
Yes.
election. BKO, we want you to be
There
on
are so
the
many
ground here.
interesting things. Yeah, so many interesting things happening, especially in the north.
Okay,
And
okay.
by the time we begin our day-to-day
Countdown
analysis
and
of
prediction.
how the election,
Yes, that's
Yes,
one thing
we
I want to
don't
tell
want
you.
to travel.
I've discussed with the BKO
that's
before.
why all of the journeys that I want to make them now, so that
Okay.
that period, the last 1 month to the election, I don't want to go anywhere. So
Okay.
whatever I'm doing now, trying to look for money for the company, I can do it at this time so that I can focus on the election in the next 1 month. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay. I will also promise our viewers that we are going to take our stand state by state. We are not going to shy away from
Yes.
anything. And we are going to say it the way you know it. And if you like, come at us. We are not God. Our prediction might not be 100%, but we are going to take a stand.
No, the point
And
is that-
when you get to the presidential election, we are going to take a
The
stand.
problem is that many people mix emotion with reality. Once people can detach their emotion,
Okay.
I normally tell people that if your enemy, somebody you don't like is richer than you, you just have to admit it's richer than you, even though you don't like the person.
Yes.
I mean, the person you don't like may emerge the president.
Yes.
But that's the fact.
Yeah.
You don't need to like him.
We are not going beyond duty call.
No. Well, it's okay. Of course, that's what the media, that's the job of the media, to
The
report
call of duty.
the news.
Big O, you want to say something?
Yes, I said it's the call of duty in the
Yes.
voice of
That's the
Zino
call of
Liski,
duty.
the Nigerian musician.
Mm.
In the voice of that young musician, Zino Liski. Call of duty.
Okay. So, I want to thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Paul Dada, thank you. Emeka Madunagu.
Thank you very much.
And throwing in the passes from Meduguri there. BQ, thank you for making Journalist Hangout on Sunday.
Thank you.
Yes, interesting.
Thank you
And
very
that's our...